What's up, everybody? Welcome to week 2 of Inside Harmony Rucker League. I am one half of the Insiders, Walker Ward, alongside my partner, Mason Howard. We're in a different setting today. We're here at Rucker Park. We got some games, some pickup games going on behind us. There's a lot that happened this week, Mason. How about you just kind of give the viewers, what should they expect this episode?
This episode, we're going to try to do a better job, being a little more structured, but we'll also keep in that, that good conversation flowing. We're going to go over some of the highlights from this week. Maybe not necessarily every team, so if you don't hear your favorite team talked about, just know they probably just did, as we would expect them to do. Then we're going to some trade talk. We mentioned it last week, didn't get into it. We're definitely going to hit trade talk today, and then we have a special guest coming at the end, so stick around for that.
Yeah. So I guess let's just go from top to bottom of the standings right now. So sitting in first place, the Black Panthers. Crazy, LB seems to have cooked up a great team. 2-1. They're currently sitting atop of the leaderboards with a 5-1 record.
I'm going to pause you right there, and I don't mean this to take a second, but we keep on giving the credit to LB. Logan Corson is also a captain. Am I wrong?
That is correct.
He's been in the shadows this whole time, letting LB be the spokesperson of the Black Panthers. Well, he sits in the shadows. Maybe Logan Corson might have something to say about these wins too.
He might have. That is one person that I guess he hasn't been here. We haven't heard much out of him, so he kind of like you said, he does get forgotten.
I just don't want that to be forgotten. The LB may not be doing this alone. LB kind of feuded a little bit this week, so I don't want to give him all the credit just yet.
And one thing I do want to mention about the Black Panthers, they have a plus 30 plus minus on the season. That's
ridiculous,
crazy through 6 games.
Ridiculous. There's only the Wolves are plus 21, and then the Storm are plus 11. And everybody else is
there's nobody really close.
In the negatives. It's nuts. They have really just dominated, and that's all you really got to say about them. They just dominate the games they play in.
Yeah, they do for sure. Let's keep it moving. The Wolves. What you got to talk about here with the Wolves?
Wolves, man, they just went 3-0, and it was pretty fun to watch. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing that last game. I'm gonna quickly pull up who they played in their last game. It was the Black Panthers.
That was the game winner for Reed.
Reed Olsen hits a game winner from deep to beat the Black Panthers. That's why the Black Panthers have lost. That's why Wolves went 3-0. The Wolves also beat the Suns, and the Wolves beat the Gators, mm-hmm. Walker Ward's Gators. So Great weekend from them. Zach Halgrut's putting up a strong case for one of the best players in the league, as he always does. And the Wolves have just been playing super well lately.
Yeah, the Wolves 3-0, can't argue with that. I don't know what their plus minus was on this weekend, but they're sitting, basically tied for first place in the leaderboard.
Yeah.
They gave, the team sitting in front of them, the Black Panthers, they gave them their only loss this year.
Yeah.
Are the Wolves, is Zach looking to run it back?
He might be. Now, we'll get into it. Some stuff behind the scenes might hold them back, and some player relations with the owners might not be there.
So then third in the standings, we got the Lions. Lions did not have that great of a weekend. Now they went 1-2. I believe they played the Red Raiders, which I believe they won, correct?
Yes.
Then who did they play next year? They played the Polars. They lost to the Polars and the Knights. Yes. So, 2 teams that I would say are sitting in the middle of the pack right now. It's still early, but 1-2. How are the Wilders feeling about this? This is fresh off of the Peyton Olsen retirement.
It is. I think that probably, Peyton Olsen was a guy that was there for multiple years. Mm-hmm. And when he medically announces his retirement, I think that probably just shook the organization. I spoke with Quincy Berlin and the rest of his family, because everybody was there gathered for this retirement party. And it was just, Quincy Berlin was weeping to me over the phone about one of his best friends and favorite teammates of all time, Peyton Olsen, retiring. So I think it shook the organization. They had to play with a sub that wasn't Hayden Lostune even. Jack Lostune, no relation, had to come.
Really?
Yes, believe it or not. Had to come and play for the Lions. I just think that they're waiting to get their full team back. They're going to be all right. Relax. But yeah, rough weekend for the Lions.
Relax. Storm, another team, 1-2 on the weekend. Not their greatest performance, I would say.
I'm not going to be as nice to the Storm as I was to the Lions. They did have their full squad, and they still took 2 losses. One of them to the Gators. I had posts pulled up because Walker Ward and myself, I suppose, was talking a little smack, and I had Colt Landers overrate that Walker Ward post, ready to post after that game.
Did happen.
And Walker Ward gets a W, and the Gators get their second one of the season. So, rough weekend from the Storm. I still believe that they are not all that. So, Colt Landers, we'll see if you prove me wrong.
One thing on that is Colt Landers did drop 11-7 on us, 11.7 rebounds out of the team total 15 points.
Okay.
So he did kind of carry the load. Some of his points might have come, when he got some mismatches where I know I had 2 fouls that game, but he's a big man. Hard to stop.
He is. And,
did the Storm need help?
Do the Storm need help? We'll get into that. I don't want to get into it right now. We're trying to move things a little quicker today.
So next up, the Knights.
Yes.
The Knights going 2-1 on the weekend.
One of those wins against the Storm.
So
one of those wins against the Lions.
And yeah, the Storm was the Night Storm was the primetime matchup of the week. And I mean, it was pretty back and forth, but at the end there, if I recall, the Knights just kind of that came down to did it come down to a game winner?
It came down to a game winner from Trey Matheson. That was crazy.
That was corner 3. We had 2 corner threes.
We had the Polars hitting a corner 3 against the Lions to get an upset, and then we had the Knights hitting corner 3 against the Storm to get an upset. So it was like chaos. We have the video. I don't know if some videos been posted, if you guys will see the video. Me and Walker had the tripod, and we're going back and forth. We're commentating 2 games at once. It was nuts.
It was, how are you supposed to, you've got one team down here, the Lions, that are about to take up or potentially give up their first loss to the Polars of all teams, Jeffy flu game. And then all of a sudden over here, you've got this primetime matchup of the week, the Knight and the Storm. What are you supposed to do there? Are you supposed to go for the first loss of the season or the prime time? It was tough.
We had the commissioner coming over and he goes, "Oh, get some of this game." We turn around and he's like, "Oh, this game's close." We turn around. We're going back and forth. He was trying to call a media timeout.
He
at
was.
the next stoppage of ball.
Next thing.
Trey Matheson, corner 3.
Book
it.
What a weekend for the Knights.
Yes.
Another weekend, team we had just mentioned, Polars, 2-1. Now, Polars, before the weekend even started, Jeffy was late. There's an illness that I guess he's dealing with. But Hot Mike caught Polars owner, Nate Hogrud, number 77, talking about how he had just cut Jeffy from the team.
Jeffy, huh?
Where is Jeffy?
Jeffy's not on our team anymore. I just caught him.
Yes. If you haven't looked at it, quickly pause the video. Go to the IHRL Instagram account, and it's up there, and you can hear him nice and clear on the hot mic saying just that Jeffy was gone. His own brother was gone.
And immediately after that comes out, I get a phone call. Nate is, I wouldn't say heated, but he just wanted to maybe set the record straight. So him and I had a nice long chat, and that's another post that you can find in there about some potential routes that he's giving Jeffy another chance. And he's looked into hypnotizing Jeffy.
I read this post.
Yes, into thinking that he is prime Ray Allen, one of the greatest shooters of all time. So that's a storyline that we'll need to follow for week 3.
It is. And then one thing that's interesting is, why Ray Allen? Does he not believe that he could live up to thinking of himself as Stephen Curry or Klay Thompson? I still don't think he fully believes in Jeffy. I think he's going for the lesser of some of the best shooters of all time. So we'll see how it happens in the next couple of weeks.
So let's move it along here. The next one, not that fun to talk about. Well, for them. For us, this is the Suns. 0-3 weekend. So I guess let's just put it this way. I've been in contact with one half of the Suns owner, and he's a little worried. He says he's shopping, but we'll get to that later.
Yes.
An 0-3 weekend was very concerning for him. Maybe the Suns need to change something. Maybe they just had a bad week. Who knows? But we'll come back to the Suns later. We'll have plenty to talk about them.
We will. Oh, we will.
The Gators. We went
talk to me about the Gators, please. I don't know what happened.
1-2 on the weekend. Obviously not our best. We were in every game. I think our plus minus is still right there, which obviously, so we're at a -2.
Yes.
We're still right there. We're losing those close games. we still need to piece it together. I think that last game against the Storm, we really came together. We won 21-15, I believe. We talked about it in the group chat Sunday evening with our owner and co-commissioner of the league, Hayden Gunderson, and he's, what's going on, guys? 1-2, we don't want to see that. We're 2-4 on the year, not great. We just basically told him, definitely we were getting killed on some slacking off. I think if we just give our 100% and we work on our rotations, we're going to be just fine.
Yes.
That's our plan. We're keeping a positive mindset. Like I told Gundo, right? Trust us. We're getting things figured out over here. We're figuring out how to play together. And I'm hoping that this week we can really turn things around and get a little winning streak going.
Oh, for sure. Going off from there, I think your Gators will be just fine. You guys had the pieces. But maybe some stuff we need to talk about later when it comes to trade talk. Maybe you guys look for somebody as well. Red Raiders. 2-1 Red Raiders. And I have to be the first to say, Quentin Tripp, I was not familiar with your game. I was on the other side of, if you haven't heard about it yet, the Q Legacy game.
The Quick Trip brown cap big of the game or the weekend
first one ever.
game.
The first brown
But
cap
continue.
big.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yes. No, you're all right. 5 3-pointers, 13 points. We just picked up a 6'5" big that's lanky and athletic, and he was in Q's face every single shot. I couldn't believe it. I was seeing my body language was so bad because I couldn't just not believe what was happening to us. We lost that game 14-22 after just coming off our first win of the year. Quentin Tripp, I give you your flowers, sir.
I will say, so Quentin, he was on my team last year on the Knights, and he was our fourth guy. And he played his role. He kind of, understood that he was our fourth guy. He was subbing in when we were tired. But I will say, when he got hot, he was hot, and he showcased it here this last Sunday at Rucker.
Yes, he did. And, I mean,
he's out here right now.
He's here every week. He's not just on Sundays, Wednesdays on scrimmages.
Right there.
Thursdays when we call up a scrimmage last second. He's always here. He basically lives at the Rucker. So,
and we'll jump down to the Hunters now. I'm just going to say I was able to watch Mason put on the two performances of, the weekend, basically. One of them, his better performance should have earned him the green cap guard of the week, but we couldn't give it to him because it has to be the rules, I guess, for it are you have to have a big part and make your team win. But he didn't just have one big performance. He had two big performances this week. One of them leading the Hunters to their first ever win. I'm going to let you kind of talk about the Hunters right now.
Okay, yeah. I obviously had a great weekend. I put up probably my best HRL weekend, 39 points, 30 rebounds, and 7 assists, I believe. Almost had a triple-double on the weekend. And, I mean, the stats only tell you so much. I was taking a lot of shots for my team. I thought that if I shot the ball more and scored more points, that we would maybe get a win. We got one win, and we were right there. We lost 19-21 against the Polar. And, yeah, I took a lot of shots. And afterwards, I don't believe that's the key to winning basketball. It makes me look good, but I don't believe that's the key to winning basketball games. I talked to my team. I told them, hey, guys, I know that it was a lot of shots for me this weekend, but I want to spread the love a little bit more. So that's what we're looking forward to this upcoming weekend. Hopefully getting a little more guys involved, and we're just really waiting for our second-round pick, Greg Kennedy. We've been playing without our second-round pick. Not something a lot of teams have been doing, other than the Black Panthers, who are at the top of the league, have been playing without their second-round pick. So I think we'll be fine. I am excited for things going forward. I feel proud of myself for having the weekend I did, but I really, really, really would just rather get some wins for my Hunters. So, Hunters fans, they're coming soon.
So, let's just roll right into some trade talk.
Let's do it.
And let's just play off. Does Mason need help? With the loss of Big Boy, I mean, I don't want to pick apart your team here, but if Greg is not going to be here for a couple more weeks, Big Boy's out. Atlee can shoot, but I wouldn't say at a consistent basis. Do you guys have do you need another piece to your team? Do you need to maybe start shopping around? I know you picked up Jordan Peterson, but
I mean, how funny would that be if we picked up a dude and then we traded him a week later?
you had 2 games, and I don't remember what your third game was, but you had 2 games where you scored over
I had
2/3.
I had 15.17 rebounds in that third one.
Yeah, you're scoring over half of your team points. Is that enough for you?
Like I said, I think that once we get Greg back, and I believe that once we get Greg back, I will still put in my part. I won't put the ball in the hoop as much. Hopefully, still at just an efficient rate. We're gonna have myself, who is doing very well so far this season. Jordan Peterson, who's 6'5", and will play defense, get rebounds. Greg, who's 6'5", who will put the ball in the basket, play defense, get rebounds. Atlee, who just didn't get a chance because of my shot taking to showcase his abilities very much this weekend. I do believe that he's going to do great. And then we have CJ, Carson Grabo, coming off the bench, and he has been getting better and better.
He did hit a 3 this weekend, I saw.
It was huge. I got so hyped for that kid. He's been playing well lately. So we're fine. I'm not saying that because I'm on the Hunters. I'm saying that because I truly believe that, especially when we get Greg back, that we are going to skyrocket in that top half of the league.
Now, I'm just, thinking in my head here, if the Hunters were to execute a trade and they were looking for a shooter, rumor has it maybe one more bad performance from Polar's Jeffy. Could we see the Hunters maybe going after Jeffy and bringing him in to compliment you? So let's talk about Jeffy.
Let's talk about Jeffy. I'm not going to comment on him joining the Hunters. You can talk to my owners about that.
Jeffy, second overall pick, or not second overall. I should say second round pick for his team.
Yes.
And I think his owner is just wants a little bit more out of him.
I mean, and what more motivation do you need, Jeffy? You were voted the most overrated player by the Insider Analyst, whoever those may be. And then you were also being just hounded on by your owner and your brother, who is the same person, by the way. So, I mean, Jeffy has all the motivation in the world. He's trying not to get his ass traded from the Polars, and he's not putting together performances still.
The Polars they're a good team. I think there's just a lack of go after and get after it. Go after and speaking of, Jeffy's
walked up onto
he just joined set. He's on the side of set right now. We're not going to bring him in here and let him defend himself because that's not how we roll.
That is not.
You're going to have to defend yourself in the comment section. So obviously, let's hope that Fetch. Okay. So let's hope that the Polars, let's hope this hypnotism can work for Jeffy because I think he needs it. But one team that struggled this weekend, the Lions. Is your chair need to be readjusted here?
I'm good. I'm sorry. Just Father Time brought his child to the park.
He needs to be a father.
And
clip it.
Okay. We're gonna keep things rolling because we're professional here. We're talking about hypnosis with Jeffy. Is it gonna work?
Let's hope so. And like you said, I mean, it was an interesting choice for 77 to choose Ray Allen. I'm not really sure what his thought process was on why he's choosing to hypnotize him to believe he's Ray Allen. Maybe Jeffy sees something in Ray Allen. I mean, Ray Allen, great three-point shooter, was basically kind of considered the original.
And I'm looking at Jeffy's eyes right now, and they do seem to be swirling a little bit. I think it might work. It might have worked. 77, you may be onto something.
One thing we do have to keep in thought, though, that Jeffy's a graduated man now. Is he taking care of his illness from last weekend? Is it still lingering? Was there have they been giving him ivermectin, vitamin drops? He's eating some cheesy breadsticks brought to you by Quick Trip. Da-na-na-na-na. That was a horrible jingle.
Sponsor us. I think we should move on from Jeffy, though. I think that we might be getting a little too far into this Jeffy thing.
Okay, so Lions 1-2. Does that bring any concern for the Wilders?
Like I said earlier, I don't think that they need to make a trade, but knowing the Wilders, especially Eric, he might want to get back in the news a little bit. He might want to make a big money move to bring in a big money player from a team. So I could see them definitely going for a trade to try to partner somebody with Quincy Berlin.
What do they need? Like, I mean, they've got Quincy Berlin. They've got Torgy down low. Do you get a shooter, perhaps? And by shooter, do I mean a shooter that's maybe struggling on a team right now? Maybe was the team's first overall pick that maybe isn't playing like the team's first round pick. I'm talking about Jay Brink.
Bang.
My sources have been telling me that the Suns are shopping. Now, they haven't officially grabbed anything off the shelf and put it in their cart, but they have definitely gone up and down the aisles, and they've got a couple scenarios in their, maybe written down in their heads of potential trades. One thing the Suns want is a big man. So does that, they've got Rylan, who is a tall kid, but is he a big man down low?
He's not.
He wants to kind of be out on the perimeter. So another one of my sources has been saying that the Suns and the Black Panthers are deep in trade talks, as well as the Suns and my Gators are very deep in trade talks. So I don't know. I don't want to I'm not going to give up too much, but I will say that from what I've been told so far is I reached out to Gundo. I'm like, you gotta let me know like what's going on here, because the Suns want a big. I'm considered the big of the Gators right now, me and Holman. Am I getting shopped? And the first thing that Gundo told me was, so he got a message from a Suns representative asking about a trade. And he said, or the trade was offered. I don't know who the Suns offered. I was not privy to that information. But Gundo's response, and I quote, "Bruh, that's messed up and disrespectful. Get that shit out of here." And
really
never heard back. So that's all I have kind of heard as far as trade talks between, but I was reached out to by the Suns owners about asking me if I'm happy on the Gators. And yes, I'm happy. John Pressman is going to win MVP, and we're going to get him his first ring this year. Bookmark it.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack.
Lot to unpack right there.
Gundo is saying, Walker, don't worry about it, but don't talk to me about it. I don't know. I don't know.
I can say with a fact that another one of my sources very close to Gundo, potentially laying horizontal with him at night, is saying that's not happening.
Okay.
I
have no idea what source this is.
This person is the head of my fan club in Australia.
Okay, we have a Walker. Is there an Instagram account or something for this play yet?
Bookmark it, clip it, get on that. No, there's not, but I have a fan club in Australia. I've had it since, I think, last summer, maybe a summer before. Definitely last summer is when I found out about it.
You were not privy to this information before?
No, yeah. I have a large following in Australia, so maybe that's why I was drafted to the Australian team.
The Gators, yeah. Wow.
Lot of information.
Lot to unpack there. Okay, so let's break this down. Suns want a big man. What I don't think they're thinking of quite yet is, would they ever try to send a guy like Jaden Brink to the Lions for Logan Torgerson? Quite possibly right now the best big man, the all HRL big man in the league. The Lions are going to be getting back Adrian Rindles, who is above 6 feet tall, very athletic, kind of plays like Rylan Ristow almost. Quincy Berlin does a little bit of everything. I don't think they necessarily need a big man if they were to get Jaden Brink. I think that would be a very good. I think any team should want to trade for Jaden Brink. Mm-hmm. The Suns get so big heavy. Do they think, okay, we're going all in on the young guy, Rylan Ristow? Jaden Brink just lost his love for the Rucker. He's not going to play hard for us and make that trade. I don't know. Eric Wilder, maybe get on that. Maybe start reaching out to the Suns, seeing if you want to shop around some of your bigs. But if I'm anybody in the rest of the league, I'm looking at the Suns saying, give me one of your best players.
So one thing that we talked about pre-show here, we were looking at some of the stats.
Yes,
so
we were.
I just had it here. Where did I put it here? Oh my goodness, I can't find it. So on the Suns right now, Rylan Ristow has 13 two-pointers.
That's a good amount.
The Suns' so-called lethal shooter only has 7. Now, there's a lot of notable names that have almost double what Jay Brink has right now. Zach, double. Rylan, almost double. John Prestiman, almost double. Quincy Berlin, double. Trey Matheson, double. Anthony Keeney, almost double. Bryden Ball, double. Dang. My partner, Mason Howard, has double. He has triple the amount of three-pointers that the HRL lethal sniper has. What's going on?
I don't know. And I played Jaden this past weekend, and he showed up a little late. He was a little after 4. He was a little tired getting into the game, and it's just everybody knows this dude can hoop. Mm-hmm. So he's getting the best matchup every single game. I don't know if that's wearing on him. I don't know if the college workouts have been getting to him. I'm waiting for one of these weekends for him to explode. But come on, Jaden, where is it at? The Rucker League is waiting for you to show up this season.
And let's get to one more trade here. The Suns and the Black Panthers, like I said, have been in trade talks. LB might be looking to shop Gavin Hubka.
Yes, we talked about this before the show.
That Gavin is a name that I've heard been thrown out there. I guess he doesn't feel like he needs him.
Well, he hasn't needed him yet.
He has not.
Was he there week 1? Or I don't think. No, he was there. He
was there week 1.
Didn't do much. No offense to Gavin Hubka. I know you can hoop. Week 2, didn't show up. And the Black Panthers are still doing great.
And it came down to a game winner from the Wolves.
They should be 6-0. So if I'm LB and I'm like, okay, we have our second round pick who we don't even need right now.
Corson. We got to remember LB and Corson.
Corson.
Like you said, yeah, we got to remember to give Corson
Corson
his flowers.
LB and Corson, they say, we have a very valuable asset. Let's look around and see which team needs a lengthy guard that can get some buckets. And we want another big. We want a point guard. We want somebody who's just going to be here every week.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they need to talk to Ethan Lane about that. Maybe we can talk to Ethan Lane about that. Spoiler alert.
And I guess with that, do we just bring Ethan Lane in right now?
I say we do. If we're on the Black Panthers,
let's figure out. They are in a game right now.
Oh, we're gonna get somebody subbed in. They want Ethan Lane. Ethan Lane, we got sub for you.
All right, grab that chair.
I just want to point out that while down that chair, I had to pick out Jeffy's Dr. Pepper he was drinking from there. Is that Dr. Prescribed Pepper? That might be. I mean, it could be better than a non-Dr. Pepper. I mean, 23 flavors. Maybe there's something in there that they told him. You need to get this in your system. I've not had a Dr. Pepper in years, but I will say that was one of my favorites. Probably not. I'll chime in. I feel like it.
I'm going to let you man a little bit of this interview because I'm going to pass my mic, this precious mic, over to the player of the weekend,
the little guy himself.
All right. Let's see what we got. Here.
All right. So joining us right now, player of the week, Ethan Lane, rookie, might I add, leader of the Black Panthers, the hot Black Panthers, starting off 5-1. It took a game winner from who would have predicted Reed Olson to beat you guys, right? You have a plus 30 in the plus minus right now. You guys are just rolling through teams. The next closest team is a plus 21, and it's the Wolves, who is your only loss. Again, game winner. Basically, what's been the key to success to this start?
Just team play. I mean, getting everybody the ball, moving the ball well, playing defense, talking, just the simple things of basketball. Keeping it simple.
And you had mentioned talking. Now, there was a game where we played you guys this weekend, and I completely forgot that we were mic'd up. I forgot I even had the video, and I'm going through all my Rucker highlights or film from this weekend. All of a sudden, I pull it up, and I hear it's us, and I hear the whole time I'm listening to you, like, right there. You are just out there. You're commanding, not only on the offensive side, but you are talking on the defensive side, where it is key to communicate with your players. So what's like, I guess, what do you guys pride yourself on? You know, you're obviously you're plus 30, but do you think it's because you're an offensive team, or are you just not letting teams score?
I think it's defense. I mean, the shots we're taking are a lot of ones, so it comes down to defense, especially when you only take ones. We haven't made many threes besides Anthony hitting threes.
Anthony.
I mean, we don't take many threes, so it comes on defense. Just got to talk.
And Anthony has been, in my opinion, I don't know if you can consider a third round pick a steal, but Anthony
I think he's
has
been
been
a
a
steal.
steal
Yes.
of the draft this year. So one thing that a lot of people are probably wondering is, how is Rucker different from, 5-on-5 high school basketball?
Just being outside. The elements are way different outside than anything else. 3-on-3 is a little different, and just playing with different guys you haven't played before. I mean, high school, you're playing with guys who played all the way up from grade school, elementary. Where here, you're just throwing with a bunch of guys that are from around the area.
You're
I mean, you don't know.
learning how different guys play.
Yep.
There's not as much fast break opportunities.
Yep.
And how have you felt with like the cement? Has that put any stress on your body at
A
all?
little bit, yeah. Especially with the ride home. I got a 30-minute drive. Get home stiff. Don't want to do anything. So it takes a couple days.
Wolverine blood comes in.
Yeah, Wolverine blood. Yep. Yep.
Wolverine blood, being hypnotized is the latest trend kind of going around the Rucker League. So just a couple things you might want to try out.
Heard swimming's good. Swimming. Heard that's another good one.
Have you been swimming?
I have not. I've heard rumors,
but
that's pretty good.
We are coming up on warm season here in Minnesota, so maybe we get a Rucker pool.
Ooh,
for everybody to relax in afterwards.
It's a good idea. We got a lot of green grass out here.
So what's been the most surprising thing so far?
Surprising. Are you talking our team or just in general?
Let's go two-part question. What's been the most surprising thing that you found on your team?
How easy it is to move the ball with guys I've never played with before. Like Parker, 4th round pick. He's been pretty surprising. Anthony, smaller guard, likes to pass. Talking to him last year, he played with let's see, who did he play for? The Suns?
Was he on the Suns or the Lions?
It was him, Jay Brink, and Josh.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
We were talking, it's different playing with Jay Brink because he's more of a scorer, likes to shoot, where I'm more of a passer. I like to give my guys shots. I'll take my shots here and there, but I like to get my guys touches, get the ball moving, spread it around. So.
And then second part of that question, what's been the most surprising thing about Rucker so far?
Rucker, the energy here, it's just a little bit different. It's competitive, but it's relaxed at the same time.
Yep. A lot of these guys from around here aren't necessarily the stars of their basketball team. They just want to come out, play some competitive basketball, and have fun. And that's kind of what Rucker is all about. So the last thing we got for you here. Obviously, you guys are off to a 6-1 start, right? You're at a plus 30. Do you see anything on your team that you guys could maybe improve on?
Getting all the guys here. I don't think we've had a week yet where we've had more than 3 guys. I mean, we haven't had Parker and Gavin on the floor at the same time. It's been every other week with them. I mean, Anthony's been consistent. But I think once we get all 4 or 5 guys here, it'll be even better.
And who is your 5th? I guess I don't.
Jose,
there we go.
He came 1 week. I have. He's a character for sure.
Good character, right?
Good character.
Yeah.
He's a chirper. Likes to talk.
He
likes
is.
to talk.
Yes. Well, Mason, you got anything you want to ask here?
You talk about how you like each of your guys involved, and I just got to add for the people at home, people who weren't here, we've started keeping track of weekend stats. Now, that's how we kind of look at things. Who had the best weekend, the overall stats. And we're waiting for somebody, it's only week 2, but to have the first HRL triple-double that we recorded ourselves. That probably happened in the past. But this guy, 26 points, 27 rebounds, 11 assists. I mean, talk about really doing it all. And is that the way you've always played basketball? Is
Yes.
that you've always been just a do-it-all guy?
Yep.
And that's how it's translated to the Rucker. So I just know that I've been really impressed with that. As an insider analyst, I had no idea who this dude was, but coming in, I put him low on my draft board, and you were in the MBKP conversation, my friend, and I'm excited to see you play the rest of the season. So with that,
Perfect.
I think we're good with the interview. Thank you,
good.
sir.
Very good. Thank you, guys.
So Right. You were just talking about stat lines there. So I pulled it up, right? So he is averaging 9.8 rebounds per game, along with points per game of 7.1. So, right, it's kind of Rucker. We only go to 21 points.
Third of his team's points.
A little bit, not easy to get, but 9.8 rebounds per game. Doing his part, getting his team, basically taking opportunities away from the other team and giving his team second opportunities.
I'd be interested to know how many of those are offensive rebounds. Because when we played them, I felt like he was grabbing every single offensive rebound that he could get. It was – this dude can jump out of the gym. For those people have not seen him play, 6 foot flat probably, can just jump out of the gym. He's an athlete. It was frustrating. He gives his team second chance points. He doesn't get tired. And, man, he's a dog. He's a dog. I'm glad we were able to get him on the podcast for today.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to pretty much do it for us.
I think it's going to wrap it up
here at Inside Harmony Rucker League.
Anything to look forward to this next week people should come watch for?
Well, it's Memorial Day weekend, so I don't know if we have anything special planned for Memorial Day weekend. We got the commissioner right here. We can certainly think of something. He was thinking USA theme coming this weekend. So we're coming up Memorial Day weekend, week 3. Every team is basically a 3-0 weekend away from being right there with everybody else. We're still early in the season. The parity in the league is unmatched, right? Teams are there could be the Hunters could go 3-0 this week. Next thing you know, you find yourself 4-5.
And we're right there in the middle of the pack with
You're
everybody.
right there. So it's going to be exciting. I can't wait for Sunday. It's my favorite day of the week in the summer. I love showing up here. I love watching the basketball. I love following the storylines. I love creating the storylines, getting in guys' ears, figuring out what they're thinking about. And this is where you're going to find out everything that we know right here inside the Harmony Rucker League. I'm Walker Ward. This is Mason Howard. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We're out.